welcome. We're going to set up a street charge today. I'm Adam Nicosia.
And I'm Chris Abruzzi.
We're here to show you how to open up and set up a street charge. First off, you're going to need a few tools to set up the street charge unit.
So we've got a power drill with a Phillips head driver bit. That's going to make it real easy to pull the crate off. We have a box cutter, flathead screwdriver, adjustable wrench, hammer, and then a furniture blanket just to protect your gear as you unpack it and set down some of the things on the floor.
Let's get started unpacking the street charge from the crate.
Sounds great. So we're going to take the top off. We're going to inspect the unit for damage, make sure everything's okay, and then we're also going to unpack it in a specific order. So let's go.
All right. So as you can see, we have the crate opened. There are a few components that we need to check to make sure there's no damage. First, we need to inspect the solar panels. Make sure that they're not cracked, that they weren't damaged in transit. Second, make sure all the pieces are intact and have not moved around inside the crate. I'll jump inside the crate and start handing the components out one at a time, and then start the assembly process. Jeez. Did you see that old man move? So what I'm doing now is, while Chris is laying out the blanket, is I'm actually cutting the zip ties that hold all the components in place, the tables, as well as some of the looser components. That way we're ready to move them when we need to. Got that?
Yep.
As you can see, you're going to need two able-bodied people to move anywhere from 100 to 115 pounds. There is a Velcro strap that you need to undo to release this center portion. So undo it like that. Then we'll reach this in. I'll hand this to you, Chris.
Okay. Charging tables.
Yep. Hand these charging tables to you. When you're inspecting this, one of these charging tables will have a serial number on it, just to identify the unit itself.
So each of the units has a unique serial number, and that's so that if you need service or you're calling in to troubleshoot an issue, you can let us know and reference that number so we can help you to service it.
In every crate there is going to be a box, and in this box we'll have all of the different components needed to assemble the street charge unit itself. So the next step in here, as you can see, we need to release the base. You do that by unscrewing these wing nuts. The base comes in two pieces. You have the top base and the lower base. The lower base is designed for temporary placement, and the top base is where you would permanently install it into the cement. We'll take this out and set it up with the temporary base. You're definitely going to need two able-bodied people to lift this. This is approximately 115 pounds. And then we'll just set this right here on this edge.
So the bottom base, we have to keep in mind the orientation. So we have this blue piece of tape, and that points north. This is a solar collector, and we want to make sure we optimize the collection of the sun.
Okay, got it. Perfect. So as you can see, we have the base assembly in place. Next, we're going to open up the upper half of the pole to make sure that all the cables are connected. Chris, let's pick this up and set this up here.
Yeah, so what Adam's doing is he's removing the screw at the bottom because we want to take this aluminum side panel off to expose the core of the unit, and inside the core is where the cords live and the batteries, and we're going to make the connections so that we can connect the batteries to the solar panels. Adam's going to move this aluminum side panel up.
So what you do is slide it to you, and you will feel it disconnect. And the panel will then come open like this, which then exposes the internal door with all of the different cabling inside. Now that the panel has been removed, we can look inside the unit itself. And what I'll do is point out some of the features in here. In this upper section, you have your battery pack. In this lower section down here encased is your electronics, and then all of the cabling which connects the LED lighting, the solar panels, the batteries, as well as the USB cables that you can plug your phones directly into. Inside here you're going to find a unit cable that looks like this. Make sure this is connected. This is your solar panel connection. With this not being connected, you're going to run on battery power until it's done, and then it will not be able to recharge through solar. Also inside here you're going to find a cable with an end that has a blue ring around it. The blue ring indicates the auxiliary power. So for some reason, if this unit is stored or if it is inside, this particular cable will recharge the battery set and act as the power source. Normally this will be tucked up inside here, but I wanted to point that out so that you could see that. Also, you will find the LED signing. This will actually be for the LED cabling. Down here you find these that are disconnected. So these particular connectors are what will link the battery pack to the rest of the unit to give it power. So you want to make sure that you link them up, and the indicator will come on, so you get those, make sure they're in there. So when you know that you have it connected properly, the LED lights will turn on. It's the indicator that the battery is now powering the unit, and a great way to know that, hey, I've got everything done properly. Once you ensure that everything is connected, make sure you tuck it back in, and then we can close this up, and the unit should be ready to go for the final installation of, or the next steps of assembly.
So at this point, Adam's going to close that aluminum side panel to cover up the core of the unit, and he's going to set it in place. And then the next step will be to take this lower post and attach it to the top of the top base.
We need to make sure that the orientation of the two screw holes are on the top end, where this open face or open slot is down towards the bottom. These are a very snug fit, as we have great tolerances on these, and so you are going to need to be able to push down hard to lock it into place.
So here with the solar panels, I stood it on end so that you could see that these are pitched. This high side being the north side, this side, the low side being the south side, and that's to optimize the collection of the sun and to give you maximum collection efficiency.
Next, we want to test the connections between the battery pack and the internal wiring with the solar panel and the top portion prior to assembling it all and standing it up. So we've got the green lights on the end indicating that we're set. Let's disconnect. Chris, you comfortable with that?
Yes.
I'm feeling good about it too. All right, let's plug that back up. Got it. Once again, there's tight tolerances, so slam it down in there. Perfect. So now we're connecting the upper post to the lower post, and then down here we'll connect the post to the base.
So next, we're going to tip this post down so that we can attach the solar panels.
There we go. Right, so the next step now is to attach the top with the north end facing north, and we'll make this marriage between the upper post and the top. So first you're going to want to make sure that the cables are accessible to plug in. So you make the connection now with the LED. And then the solar connection, we'll push that up into here. Pull that out on this side so that you can see that connection being made. So these connections are very simple. You'll connect red to red and black to black. Make that connection nice and tight. Tuck the cables back up in so that you can clear and not pinch them when you connect the two pieces. And the connection is made. Make sure that we attach the top to the upper post.
So at this point in the assembly, we're ready to attach the signage. Now that we have the signage attached, we're going to stand the unit up and get it in position and ready to bolt down to the base.
To attach the table, simply put the tab into the open space, push down, and it will lock itself into position. Like this, push down, and then you'll have 2 screws under here to put the table into place. So the final step, now that you have the tables in place, is to attach the bases together, bolt these down so that the unit is finally secure. So as you can see, the Street Charge unit, very simple to install. If there's any additional questions, please refer to your owner's manual. It'll go through everything step by step and in finer detail than we did here on this small video. Once again, thank you for purchasing. We look forward to seeing the use.